It is Wednesday, April 3rd, 2024, my friends, and I have a few best bets on the way for you. I've got a few in the NBA. I've got an NBA player prop. I've got an NBA total. And I also have a plus money baseball winner for you guys to wrap it up. This is the Free Three. What's up, guys? It's your boy Noble Living back with another DYF Bets video where I'm breaking down my favorite picks and plays of the day as we just try to get to the bag together and make some money. Yesterday, what I tell you guys, we always start April slow. I don't know what's going on. Not even just April. We start every month slow. 1-2 yesterday. We got Darius Garland assists right. No sweat bet there. Duncan Robinson, man, 2 for 7 again. Only 6 points. He had the volume from the three-point line. Just didn't hit enough shots. Didn't really get enough minutes there. So he went under. And then we also lost on our money line parlay. It's the Braves. Could you, man, come on. I mean, I need to take this hat off, man. Like the Braves selling to the White Sox in a 2-1 game? Man, you hate to see that. Indiana State, we got that right, but we lost on the Braves, and then there was no action on Donovan Mitchell because he did not play due to the injury management. So 1-2 on the day. You can see our year-to-date record right here. A little bit of a slow start to the month of April, only 2-4, but it's a long month. Stick with us, my friends, because we always kind of start off the month slow, and then we always seem to turn it around. If you are liking these videos and you're getting value from this, please smash that like button and subscribe to the channel, so this way we can continue to grow, continue to put out winners. And if you're looking for my Nerfy of the day, because it is a Wednesday travel day, so there's a ton of early baseball games, so I don't really have that many options to choose some to give you late game slates. So if you want some of those other baseball picks and plays, make sure you guys are following me on Twitter at Noble Living, and then also in the free Discord group as well. All right, my friends, now let's dive into these best bets. For my first best bet of the day, we are going to go to an NBA matchup. We've got two playoff teams that are going to be facing off each other, as right now everybody is fighting for seeding. Everybody is fighting for positioning there in the NBA. Let me kind of give you guys an update really quickly as to what is going on in the NBA from a standings perspective. So first in the Eastern Conference, we've got the Boston Celtics, who are obviously the number 1 seed. They're 12 games ahead the second seed, which is the Milwaukee Bucks. Then now that's when things start getting crazy, because the Bucks are the number 2 seed. They're about a game and a half above the Cavaliers, who are right now in the 3 seed, and the Magic and the Knicks are tied for the 4th and 5th seed, and they're only about a game and a half back behind the Cavaliers, and then the Pacers a game and a half behind both of those teams for the 6th seed. So you guys can see as we get down the stretch of the NBA playoffs here, all the games matter as we come down to it, and because of positioning, teams have to get wins. Now in the Western Conference, the top 3 seeds, the Nuggets, the Timberwolves, and the Thunder, have all secured a playoff spot, and they're all separated about half a game there. But then when you start looking at the bottom of the standings, when we start getting down to the 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th seed, that's when things start getting real crazy. The Mavericks right now are the 5 seed, the Pelicans right now the 6th seed. Both of those teams right now are tied for 5th and 6th. Meanwhile, the Kings are only a game back behind them in the 7th seed, and guess what? The Suns are a game back behind them as well, because the Kings and the Suns are tied right now for the 7th and 8th seed. The Lakers and Warriors are not too far back, a game and a half, 2 games back behind those two right there. So now you see right now the Suns right now are in that 8th seed spot, but they have the opportunity to move up, win a few games, and be able to get now into maybe a 5th seed, even at the best a 4th seed. So all of these games are mattering as we get down the stretch here. So because of that, I believe that some teams are more defensive minded. I think some teams are more offensive minded. You kind of have to figure out what the trend is. I found a trend between these two teams, and that is the Cavaliers and the Suns as they face off tonight. And I'm going to go with over 226.5 minus 110 odds. Now you just said, Noble, these teams are fighting for playoff positioning. Why are you taking the over? Shouldn't they be a little bit more defensive minded? Yeah, I get what you're saying, but when you look at the numbers, both of these teams have been flying to the over recently, okay? On the year, the Suns are 34-41 to the under, but at home they do a little bit better, 17-20 to the under. Now the Cavaliers, they've been on a recent over streak, going absolutely crazy with the overs. They've actually gone over in 5 straight games, and then 8 of the last 10 games. Meanwhile, the Suns, they're 6-4 to the over in their last 10 games as well. So that's really what I'm exploiting here. The angle that both of these teams are really pulling on offense. I don't know what the Cavaliers have done differently. Maybe it's Isaac Okoro going out with the injury, Donovan Mitchell, just the different lineup changes as to what made them an over team after they were an under team for so much of the year. I don't know, but they went over last night against the Jazz. It's the second night of a back-to-back for them. I'm expecting a little bit of more of a less defensive intensity, and then you know the Suns with the three-headed monsters that they have there with Bradley Beal, Devin Booker, and Kevin Durant, they can definitely put up points. I mean, we saw that in their last matchup against the Pelicans, one of the best defenses in the NBA in terms of scoring defenses. They dropped 124 points on them, and that game went over the 222 total. OKC, they played them the game before that. That went over the 228 total. These two teams faced off back in March, and the Suns did win that game 117 to 111. We did have a little bit of a lower total in that matchup at 220.5. But when you look at the number, they still covered, they still went over, and if we went with that 226.5 number that we have now, guess what? They would have went over that as well. So for me, I'm just exploiting the trend that right now when the Suns are playing other playoff teams like New Orleans, like OKC, those games went over. They played the Spurs, a team that does play a little bit faster. That game went over. The Hawks before that game went over. So unless they're playing like slower paced teams like Philadelphia, the Nuggets, those games have gone under, but the teams that are offensive minded like Boston, like Milwaukee, guess what? Those games have gone over, so I'm expecting to see the same thing today. Not overthinking it. Go with the trend. Give me the over 226.5 between the Suns and the Cavaliers. Now, for my second best bet of the day, we're going to go with a player prop, and I'm going to go to this Pacers and Nets matchup. Not really a guy that I take that often because he's really sold a lot of coin this year. I'm not going to lie, and his inconsistency kind of worries me, but I like this situational spot for him, and I'm going to take Mikal Bridges over 2.5 3-pointers made, minus 135 odds. Now, it is a little bit expensive, but I would be willing to lay it. I at first was going to do a 3-point parlay for you guys with Mikal Bridges to get 2 3-pointers and Bogdanovich from the Hawks to get 2 3-pointers. But when you do that, it doesn't get you to good value. Now, you could take both of them over their 2.5, and that gets you to really good plus money value. I do like both of those. Maybe you look at the game logs to kind of see. But I'm just going to isolate this one to Mikal Bridges, as Mikal Bridges and the Nets are taking on the Indiana Pacers. And you guys know the vibes. The Pacers play absolutely no defense. They like to play fast. Now, their defense has improved since the beginning of the season, but recently, a lot of their games have been going over. They've been having games that are in the 230s, the 240 totals, and I expect to see the same thing here today. This line right now from a total perspective is around 230, so I'm expecting a lot of points here. And even though these teams just faced off 2 days ago at Indiana, Mikal Bridges, 7 of 17 from the field, 3 of 8 from the 3-point line. So that's what I'm looking for. The volume is there. If you look at some of his recent game logs, 3 of 8 against the Pacers, 3 of 11 against the Lakers in the game before that, 7 for 11 from the 3-point line against Chicago, 3 of 9 against the Wizards, 3 of 12 against the Raptors, 4 of 9 against the Pelicans, 3 of 9 against the Spurs. So when you look at that, he's gone over literally 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 straight games, he's hit at least 3 3-pointers, and in that time as well, he's shooting at least 9 to 10 attempts per game. So the volume is going to be there against a Pacers team, like I said, that's looking to run and gun. They're looking to get out in transition, so they're not looking to stop a whole lot of people. And then this game is at home for Mikal Bridges, which I also like as well. So I know he's been a little bit inconsistent this year for some people who've taken him on his points, maybe his assists, even his 3-point line at points. But I think he's found his rhythm right now. I mean, obviously the games don't mean too much because of the playoff situation for the Nets, but they've also been dealing with some injuries. Cam Johnson is questionable to play. He missed the last game. You guys know that's a big 3-point threat for the Nets. Also, Dennis Smith Jr. as well. He missed the last game. So because of that, I think there's just going to be more minutes, more volume for Mikal Bridges here. He has his confidence up. He's shooting the ball a lot from deep. I'm just expecting him to hit 3 3-pointers. I'm not trying to overthink that. So let's just go with Mikal Bridges as our second best bet of the day. But if you want that super juice, then take him and then take Bogdanovich over 2.5 3-pointers. And I think both of those are 2 really good looks, as the Hawks are also big point spread favorites over the Pistons today. Now, for my third and final best bet, we're going to head to the baseball diamond. It is a travel day for baseball. Wednesdays, for my people who are newer to betting baseball, are travel days. That means that the teams play the games early so they can get on the road for their next game that's going to come up tomorrow. So because of that, we have a ton of games that go on from about 1 o'clock all the way to like 5 o'clock, and then we only have a few late night games. So because of that, my sample size is a little bit small, but I did find a winner for you guys. It's on the run line, so it's a little juice, but that's okay. We're going to take the Cubs over the Rockies, minus 1.5, or on the run line at plus 128 odds. I love this situation for the Cubs here. Again, this is just one of those spots that I'm fading the Rockies. I mentioned that I'm fading the White Sox, one of the teams that I'm fading. That backfired for me yesterday, but that's okay. I'm fading the Rockies here because the Rockies are just god-awful, bro. in all honesty. They look like a JV team out there. They're not very good. Now they take on a Cubs team at Wrigley Field that I think that the Cubs have the advantage. The Cubs have had 2 home games so far this year. They've covered the run line in both of those home games. And then I also just feel a little bit concerned about Cal Quantrill, the pitcher that is going to the mound for the Rockies. In his first start of the year, he lost that game against Arizona 7-3. He went 5 innings, 9 hits, 5 earned runs, 2 home runs, 1 walk, 1 strikeout. That is not going to get it done. And what's even more concerning is that, one, he's a pitch-to-contact guy. What does that mean? He's not striking out a lot of guys. He's getting the ball in play a lot, which I think is going to be a disadvantage for him against this potent Cubs offense, who has a bunch of guys who can smack the ball. We saw that yesterday in their 12-2 win over the Rockies. They've got Dansby Swanson. They've got Nico Horner. They've got Suzuki. They've got Cody Bellinger. They've got Ian Happ. They have so many different offensive weapons, and now that you have a guy like Quantrill who just gave up 5 earned runs away from Coors Field, which means it was a away game for him, and you expect runs when you have a Rockies pitcher pitching at Coors Field because of the altitude there. When you see him get banged up away from home, that is a big point of concern. Now he has to come on the road against a Cubs team that is in great form, winning 3 in a row, dating back to their last series against the Rangers. They've been able to score 12 points last game, 5 runs the game before that, 9 runs against the Rangers before that. So their offense is clicking a little bit right now. Obviously, it's still early, but Cal Quantrill didn't show me enough in that first start, and the Rockies just have not shown me enough offense this year just yet, even to give me the confidence that they're going to be able to give Quantrill run support. In 5 games this year, the most runs that they've scored in a game is 4. Besides that, it's been 3, 2, 1, and 0. So for me, you got a Cubs team that can easily put up 5, 6, 7 runs here. That's all we need. 6-4 final score, 5-3. That will get us done here. Don't overthink it. Cubs at Wrigley Field today. Fade the Rockies. If you want to put them on the money line parlay, be my guest, but I think they cover this run line. So give me the Cubs -1.5, plus 130 odds, or just around there as our third and final best bet of the day. Well, that's it for me today, my friends. 3 best bets, 3 winners that are headed your way. Give me the Cavs and Suns over 226.5. Give me Mikal Bridges over 2.5 3-pointers made. And also give me the Cubs on the run line. For more picks and plays that I'm dropping throughout the day, if you want some of my early games, my Nerfies, all of that, click the link in the description. Join the free Discord group. I got you for my friends. And let's continue to cash in. Let's continue to get that money. Dictate your fate. And I'll see y'all tomorrow. Later, gang.